Today we're going to talk about it, like the basic stuff, the recruiters, the ghost jobs, the scams, the endless applications, and why being desperate for a paycheck makes you the perfect target for all of it. It's 2026 and you just got fired, so now you're looking for a job. Well, congrats. You've officially entered a Hunger Game-like situation. We're not really fighting for resources. We're not fighting for food. We're fighting for a $17 an hour job amongst 400 other contestants. And that job requires 5 years of experience, 3 interviews, a personality assessment, and apparently the blood of your firstborn child and an arm and a leg. Like, the crazy part is we're being told constantly that jobs are everywhere. Companies are hiring. There's labor shortages. People don't want to work. Everybody's lazy. Nobody wants to do a good day's hard work anymore. None of that stuff. But if that's true, why is it so hard to actually get hired in 2026? Because what they don't tell you about unemployment in 2026 is that finding a job has become a full-time job itself. And somehow, not even somehow, you're not getting paid for it. You're not getting paid for it. It's just free work for you, for nothing really. Starting with that necessity or that desperation that you're looking for a paycheck and how people take advantage of that. One thing that sticks out to me the most after looking for a job at numerous job fairs and trying to find and network after losing my job in 2026, surprise, surprise, I'm jobless too. I come to find out that one of the biggest and most voracious recruiters is like the police of your area, right? The local police department. And I wonder why they're always hiring. I wonder why the turnaround rate for like those positions is so dog shit, right? Nobody in their right mind, even before the climate today, or the political climate of today, but like it just in general, really wanted to work for the police. And I mean it when I say right mind, because I'm thinking people may want to work for the corruption thing, because honestly, being a corrupt cop sounds kind of cool. You kind of just get to do whatever the fuck you want. But like, if you're doing that, you're not in your right mind. Like I was saying, right? Nobody wants to do this shit. So they prey upon desperate people for a reason, because those people have no other choices. And what's the best thing for those people to do, as opposed to getting a job, getting some bills paid in the interim by doing some quick, easy, work? Because most of the time cops don't do anything any fucking way, at least in my opinion. But with that being said, it kind of lies the crux of what I'm saying. Nobody would do this job if they had a choice to do so, or a choice to not do so, really. So here, let me set the scene for you and give you a scenario that I've seen myself. This isn't fluff that I just made up. I was at a job fair and I've seen this happen myself. You're at the job fair and all the other people down in their luck are searching for gainful employment, like we all would be, right? And you get scouted by the federally backed robbing and pillaging corps of the nation, and they tell you that the things that you hear on the robbing and pillaging annual report are nowhere near as bad as they seem, when you know for a fact from your lived experience and everything else that it's worse, honestly. So now you're at a job fair, irritated, exhausted, and tired because you're looking for a job and it's not easy work, being lied to by some dude who has a gun on his hip and is at least in a position to make your day worse, if not horrible, for the rest of your life, right? And so you got to listen to him and nod and smile and wave, or just completely hopefully they don't see you. You walk right past them, because this is just not a job that I don't think anybody really willingly takes. And it shows you that much by how much they're offering to you up front at this point. Most police jobs I've seen, or most jobs I've seen of that nature, kind of offer you crazy sign-on bonuses because they're hurting for people. Because nobody wants to work this fucking awful job. Nobody wants to be the person that kind of makes the calls on human error. You know what I mean? Because if you make a human mistake and that cop's not feeling too friendly that day, you're getting fucked. You're getting absolutely creamed by the cop, and you know that, right? Speaking of human error, we can jump into the next point that's not really as polarizing as this. Maybe it is. Maybe you're a job recruiter and you don't want to hear this. But the human error in the job application process is absolutely ridiculous. And I don't mean it in the way that human error happens and you don't lose your job or you don't get the job or something like that. But if there's a human error issue on the recruiter side, you're not getting that job, no matter what you do. For example, if you don't submit the right resume when applying, of course, that's your fault. Check your files, make sure everything's correct before you submit apply or hit submit on a job application, right? And that happens. It's happened to me at least twice yesterday. You take your L, you move on, and you wait for the job posting to refresh and try again, right? In about a month or so. But if the recruiter fucks up at any point in the process, you have to call them again and leave the appropriate messages, code switching and all, Resend your resume after retooling it for the position specifically already. Resubmit those documents again, because you at least you have them on your phone now, right? So you can submit them easily, but still the respect isn't there. And then sign into the Google Meet 5 to 10 minutes before the recruiter gets there, only for the recruiter to be 5 to 10 minutes late anyway, if they remember they had a meeting with you at all. And I understand that people working as recruiters have a hard time because, especially in this job market, you got to sift through a lot of applications, a lot of people who don't know what the fuck they're talking about for the application. So I get it. I'm not really trying to shit on recruiters, by and large, right? But like, as a person applying to jobs, that shit kind of blows me that I got to sit through whatever BS the recruiter is going through, and that just directly affects my life. Like, you have a job, gang. You already got a job. So can you please get it together so I can get a fucking job too? But we all know that even after all of that, you probably still not getting a job anyway. So, fuck it, whatever. Let's just keep on pushing through. But I mean, let's keep in mind that right now you have a job, silly. That's, free labor for data harvesting companies. All the networking and easy applying that we're doing, I'm guilty of it because I need it to be easy. I'm doing 100 applications a day and I'm tired, right? It's just networking for data harvesting companies to take your data. It's honestly easy mode for them, because think about what you're giving to these companies day in, day out. You're giving a resume that, if it's properly structured, has your full name, contact information such as phone and primary email address, your work history, all of the stuff that, kind of makes you, or at least a large part of your adult life is in that resume. And you're just sending it off to these companies willy-nilly, as you should, because I mean, any job is a good job, right? But these companies at this point in time aren't really looking at resumes and throwing them in the trash most of the time. And this is from something I heard from bosses at my old jobs, plenty of old jobs, not just one, is that they're holding your resume in a bank for later, callbacks, if they even get to that point. Your application's held for further consideration, if meaning it's sitting in a database, if they even reach back out to you from that database in the first place, and they won't. So you can't apply to the position again because the file of your resume is still on file with the company, and the system recognizes you have been applied before. So even though the job application like LinkedIn or Indeed or whoever pushes the same couple jobs, you can apply to that job because you already applied to it. It's a vicious cycle, or at least this part of the system is a vicious cycle, And since we're talking about LinkedIn and Indeed, fucking ghost jobs, that's just legal. A ghost job, and specifically a ghost job, is a job that, kind of like what I was saying, is data harvesting. They're just sitting there waiting for people to apply so they can hold that data for whenever they decide it is worth it. Meanwhile, you're sending off your resume, which is all of your work experience for the past however many years, everything that kind of makes you in a professional sense. You're sending it off and giving it to them for free. You don't even get a fucking call back. The most that's going to happen at this point is that the job or company or whoever you're applying to is going to hold your data, hold your resume with all your contact information in it until they get fucking hacked by some random fucking company or some shadow company that's going to take your information and use it to scam you, because job scams are a thing and they're so very prevalent right now, which I know it's not legal, but fuck, it's so easy for it to do. It might as well be legal. And the way that the job applications or job sites are hosting them, it feels like they're part of the process at this point. Like, there's so many jobs that are scams and that are ghost jobs, which I consider scams as well, just sitting on the site for people to apply to. When, if you're desperate looking for a job and trying to get things done so you can eat and all of that good stuff, it's hard for you to stay diligent at every job opportunity you look at. And more people fall victim to these job scams daily than I like to admit. Hell, I fell victim for that shit once, and it was ridiculous because everything sounded cool up until they wanted to send me money to buy my equipment, which I would then have to purchase with money they sent me, which 9.5 times out of 10, it's just a check bouncing scam. They prey upon like desperate people to get them to sign a check that they know is going to bounce. Hopefully it shows up in your account, or at least they're hoping it shows up in your account long enough for you all to work out buying your equipment and getting it shipped to your house, and then they'll wait for the check to bounce and you'll be left holding the bag at that point. I don't know how that works specifically because I don't know how they're going to get the money, but like, they're going to put your fucking account in the red if they're not get it disabled entirely. So, if that happens to you, call your bank, let them know about the transaction, Worst comes to worst, you'll have to let it sit there in your account and not touch it, which is extremely hard if you're already looking for a fucking job. You're already desperate. But if you come across that as a job of an applicant, just ignore it. Any company that is going to give you equipment is going to provide you with their own equipment that they provision for your role. I worked in IT, so this is what I was doing when it was deployment. It's never going to be, buy this PC and we're going to help you set it up for later. That's never going to happen with any reputable company. That's a side note. Let me keep pushing here as far as it goes for like, just you know what? I don't think I have too much else to say at this point. That is the job market at this point in 2026. You know, you can do everything right, tailor your resume, network, apply to jobs you've qualified for, show up to every interview on time, spend hours jumping through whatever hoops the company puts in front of you, and you still end up exactly where you started. Jobless, broke, and hungry. With the added caveat of wondering if the job you just applied to was fucking real. And with AI now, wondering if the person who interviewed you was fucking real. And then I guess the worst part of it to me is that when you're desperate, you don't really have the luxury of treating it like a game. You need money. You have bills, you have rent, and you have a life that doesn't stop because a recruiter decided to ghost you or let you take the fucking fall for wasting time here. So if you're going through this right now, you're not crazy, lazy, or unqualified. The system you're trying to navigate is fucking exhausting, genuinely. It's also outdated as fuck. I don't know when it's going to turn, but at some point, job searching has to turn because this shit is just not working. And, you know, it's just overall exhausting. It's exasperating to deal with on a day-to-day basis, knowing that your worth is in the hands of somebody who really is trying to tell you or tell what you're about from one piece of paper that you submitted through, you know, a fucking LinkedIn link or PDF or whatever. And if you've been dealing with this, which I'm sure you have, let me know in the comments, man. What's the worst experience you've had trying to find a job in 2026 alone? We're halfway through the year here, so I know we all have some stories. Let me know in the comments, and then we'll chop them up. I'll respond to every comment, so you'll hear from me if I hear from you. Because at this point, y'all just gotta let me know, man. I'm not the only one wondering if I apply for a job or accidentally signed up to become unpaid labor for a company's applicant tracking system so they can harvest my data and use it to train a fucking AI named something stupid like Reggie AI bot or whatever the fuck. I'm cussing a lot. I'm not gonna stop, but I didn't mean to cuss a lot in this video, but it's just frustrating. And if you feel it, you know, go ahead and cuss a lot in my comments, like I said before. Thanks for coming to the side quest. We'll chop it up on this one, and let's get to back to the headmaster and try to turn this one in, I guess. Catch y'all later. Like, comment, subscribe. Much love.